Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Scary Movie 2, and this movie is directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans, if I pronounced that correctly, and this movie came out in 2001, 1 year after the first Scary Movie, and I thought this movie was kind of bad, and it was pretty exhausting to sit through. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it was very boring and very forgettable, and I have seen parts of this movie before, and I remember liking them, but the problem was that the parts that I could remember were the best parts of the movie, and that's why they stood out to me as memorable. And the opening scene was pretty funny. It was just a parody of The Exorcist, and it was fun, and I enjoyed that. And there were some funny ideas in that scene, and it was very well paced, and that scene, opening scene, not a bad scene. And overall, I would say the opening did help out the film a lot, and it set the tone very well. But shortly after that, the movie kind of just goes downhill. And once we get to the haunted house, that's where it really starts to fall apart, because nothing just works for me. And the humor, I don't really connect with all that much. There were a few jokes that were kind of funny, but all in all, it was mostly just sex jokes and drug jokes and some gross out humor. Not throughout the entire movie, like at a couple points. And that was really annoying in this movie. And the reason why I didn't like it is because it didn't feel as though it was in service of anything. As in, the whole point of the movie is to make fun of scary movies. Like, the main one it's parodying is like The Haunting, and I already said The Exorcist, but there's a couple others that are thrown in there, like Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's a point where it parodies Charlie's Angels, and there's also a bit of the Poltergeist, and you get that, but it doesn't really feel like the movie's making fun of those movies. It's just doing them, but throwing in sex jokes, and that's it. It's like it's all it has to offer is just sex, drugs, and a little bit of gross out stuff, which didn't really work aside from a couple moments. And the characters in this movie are pretty annoying, and I wanted everyone to die, and there wasn't a single character that I liked. And I get it, they're just supposed to be tools to like make fun of these horror movies, but at the same time they just have nothing to them, and because of that it really makes the experience of watching these movies, or mainly this movie, really dull, and to some extent the first movie. But at least in the first movie, some of the unlikable characters, it served a purpose. It was supposed to like satirize I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that element of the first movie I really liked, whereas this movie, there is no purpose for them to be completely unlikable. And it kind of just feels like it's just, instead of parodying it, it's just embracing it and just having humor that doesn't really match what we're supposed to be watching, if that makes sense. As in, you have the horror movie parody set up there, but you don't do anything with it. You're just doing your own thing while having that just in the background, and it's just there, and that was pretty disappointing. And also, this movie had a really awful sense of pacing, and basically nothing happened throughout the entire film. And also, this movie wasn't that well shot either, and I was kind of hopeful that maybe this movie would look better as opposed to the first movie. Like, okay, we'll see a bit of a progression visually, but that didn't really happen here. There were some points where the framing was like, it was just way too close on certain characters and locations, and like I didn't really get a good sense of the location we were at, and I wanted some wide shots, and I never got that. And I was like, come on, just let me see the environment. And this movie had a bigger budget than the first movie, like over twice the budget, I believe. And it didn't really look better than the first movie, if you ask me. It looked about the same, and I would give props to the first movie for, like, actually trying to do something with that money. Like, I think they did a pretty good job with it, whereas this movie, I just don't really know where that money went. As in, like, all that extra money that you're supposed to, like, put into this. Maybe, like, the third act, but that's about it. And that's about all I have to say about Scary Movie 2. It was very disappointing, very boring, very annoying, and I barely laughed while watching this movie, and overall it was just a bad movie, and I'm not really looking forward to the third movie, but who knows? Maybe it'll get better. I'm not expecting it to get better, but let's see what happens. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Scary Movie 2 a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Scary Movie 2, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Scary Movie 3. I just want to get this done. Like, I'm just done. I just want to get this over with. So look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.